All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as the Niners meet with a defensive end that really is pretty intriguing. We'll tell you about him coming up next. But first, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're soon to open in Petaluma in 2026. They're open from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. 7 days a week. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Get some brisket chili. Tell them Krug sent you. As you can see the bottom of the screen, we're also brought to you by Habbas Law. 1-800-INJURED is their number. They will fight to make it right. Habbas Law, by the way, Omar and Tarek Habbas, great friends of the show. Also, they did a great commercial recently, a series of commercials with Macklin Celebrini of the Sharks. Really, really cool series of TV commercials. If you get a chance, check that out. But, man, if you need a great lawyer, absolutely. Omar Habbas, Tarek Habbas, and the entire Habbas Law team, they're fantastic. 1-800-INJURED is their number, habbaslaw.com on the web. They will fight to make it right. And thanks to Habbas Law for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. All right, let's talk a little bit about this video. What we're talking about in this video, the Niners met with Ball State defensive end Nathan Voorhis. Interesting guy for sure. He wore number 44 for Ball State. They met with him at his pro day on Monday, March the 2nd, and they had previously met with him. They had met with him prior at the Hula Bowl, so they obviously like this player. Voorhees had 12 sacks this year, fifth most in all of FBS. He had 17 TFLs on the year, 6'3", about 250 pounds, a slightly under 247. Started off his career. He's from Pennsylvania. And he started off his career at University of Connecticut. So he played at Connecticut. Then he played for Bryant University and then finished up in the transfer portal. He went to Ball State. 105 career tackles for Nathan Voorhees. 25.5 TFLs. 17 sacks. 43 pressures. He led the MAC in sacks his final year. 3 forced fumbles. As I said, he started at Connecticut, first 2 years at Connecticut. I played 20 games there for the Huskies, then transferred to Bryant University in 2024, and then went to Ball State in 2025. And his year at Ball State, he had 51 tackles, 17 TFLs, 12 sacks, first team All-MAC. As I said, he led the MAC in sacks. Super productive player in college, explosive speed off the edge. This is a really, really intriguing prospect for sure. Stroudsburg, PA is where he hails from. And had a huge game. If you saw the Ohio game this year, he had 3.5 sacks in that game. Then at the pro day, he showed that he's an NFL caliber athlete. And this is what's really exciting. This guy not only has great production, but he's also got top tier athleticism. He had a 37-inch vertical at his pro day, which would have been the 7th highest of all the defensive ends who jumped and did the vertical testing in Indy at the Combine. He would have been the 7th out of, I think, 17 defensive ends who did the vertical. So 37-inch vertical, that's a great vertical. Shows great lower body explosiveness. That's typically how these edge rushers get around the corner, is they have that extra gear. They have that extra drive, that extra step. And a lot of it comes from lower body explosion. So when you see edge rushers that have great vertical and great broad jump, that shows great lower body explosion. And that's one of the traits you really want to see from defensive ends and edge rushers. Now, I've watched this guy's film. I've seen him rush mostly from a 2-point stance. So if he's going to rush for the Niners and be in that wide 9. The Niners' base is a 4-3 wide 9 with your hand in the dirt. And some guys make that transition and they make it easily. Other guys never make the transition. So it's, we'll see what it looks like when they get him in camp. But 4.77 was his 40. So he's not a 4.5 guy. He's not one of these guys that's 4.48 coming off the edge or 4.5. But I think he kind of, if you watch his film, I would say he plays faster than that 4.77 time. It'll be interesting to see if he improves that time at all between now and the draft. But or if he stands on these numbers that he put up at his local pro day. But that's what he had: 37-inch vert, seventh highest if he had gone to the combine, 4.77 in the 40. He met with 12 NFL teams, including the Niners. He's considered to be a real high character, high motor player. He was the team captain at Ball State. So really good football player at the collegiate level. On Draft Tech, they list him quite a bit down the line. He's listed as the 48th edge rusher and pick number 413. So there's only 260 some odd picks in the draft. So he's firmly an undrafted free agent, unless, he has some amazing testing between now and the draft, and he slides into the 7th round on some flyer. I don't see it. I think he's an undrafted free agent, the kind of guy that you sign after the draft and invite to training camp. But he does have intriguing pass rush tools for sure. And you look at the 37-inch vert, then you watch his film. He's got good hand usage. I mean, I wouldn't say this is a really raw player. This is a guy who's been in college a while and knows how to play. So he looks like he knows how to play a little bit. He's got a little bit of scoot around the corner. He's got every bit of 250. And he had a lot of production at Ball State. So he's an undrafted free agent type talent. If you watch the Ball State film, he wore number 44. Really, really good athlete, though. I mean, you can see that. In fact, why don't we do this? He actually spoke at his local pro day. So we'll share the screen and let you hear this conversation that was put on X. And here he is at his local pro day. Here is Nathan Voorhis, interviewed at the Ball State local pro day.
Nate, how would you describe how it went today?
Overall, I was happy with some of my numbers. Some of them definitely could have been better. Overall, I think I had a pretty good day, showed myself.
What was the work like the last couple months leading up to today?
I was working hard. Obviously playing football my whole life, but running 40s and L drills and all that, definitely a little bit different. But I was down in Mississippi at Siege, working with Johnny and a few other guys from other schools, and it was a pretty good experience.
You've been able to see other people's pro days, the NFL Combine. You've grown up around the game of football, but what was it like for you to actually do this event today?
It was awesome. There was like 14 teams here, 16 scouts, I'm pretty sure. So it's awesome, come with my story to show up here and have that many teams interested in me.
What does it mean to you to wear a Ball State pro day on your chest?
It means a lot because obviously you guys know my story. This is my 3rd school now. And I'll say it again, a year and a half ago, I had one FBS offer, and Ball State was the only team that wanted to take a chance on me. And we all saw what I did this year. I had a pretty good year. And, it's blessed. I wasn't supposed to be in this position, so it's awesome.
For you, like getting ready for the 40, just one of those things that always sticks out to people. What were the small things that you were working on to make sure you're ready to go?
Definitely your start. There's stuff like that most people don't understand, like negative foot speed. You want to be pushing backwards in your start, and just getting like all the mechanics down. Football, like a D line get off is much different from a 40-yard dash start. So you definitely had to work on it. It was a little foreign concept to me a little bit, but I understood it.
What else do you want people to know about your football game as you leave this building today?
That I'm gonna outwork everybody. That's the reason I'm here. That's just what I'm gonna continue to do. That's what got me this far, and I'm not gonna stop doing it.
Yeah, that's great to hear, by the way. And there you go, Nathan Voorhees. And to me, it always benefits to hear the guy in his own words and to get a little video footage there of some of the drills. And he makes a good point. I mean, you got to train for these drills. Getting off the football there's a whole series of mechanics that are tied to that. But getting out of your stance in a 40 sprint type situation is a totally different deal. So oftentimes what's the advantage of some of these players that come out of the SEC? Well, they get SEC caliber training all year long. And so they're training for these drills and they're perfecting their ability to do a lot of these drills that make you money or cost you money, in the whole lead up to the NFL draft process. So there you go. Nathan Voorhees from Ball State. The production's there. The motor's there. Guy gets off the football. Looks like a pretty good athlete. Probably an undrafted free agent, but definitely an intriguing player. Definitely a guy to look for on day 3 of the draft. All right. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Crew Show. Thanks to our good friends at Alomar Marina as well. Voted best lunch spot in Sacramento sports fans game day destination What's better, to float on the Sacramento River while you're having breakfast or lunch? Check them out, alamarmarina.net. Also, thanks to Novato Chevrolet. Go see my good friend David Corral. He's the man to go see. He will get you a screaming deal. Tell him that Krug sent you. Once again, Novato Chevrolet. I don't go to any Chevrolet dealer. I only go to Novato Chevrolet. And go see David Corral. He will absolutely take care of you. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.